So even as we've been hearing all of this breaking news story, people have been arriving in Nkandla in large numbers from all over the country, pledging loyalty and support to the former president. They include ANC veterans and high-profile members of society. Our senior reporters have been there all day. They are still there on the scene, giving us the latest developments in the story. Siphamandla Goge and Aviwe Mtila. Siphamandla, I'll come to you first. So has that news filtered through? When we spoke about an hour ago, most people on the ground were not yet aware that things had changed in any way. How's it now?
Confusion. Some are aware, others are not aware, but those who understand what is happening are relieved. They've welcomed the news, saying this will be a breather for the former president and for them, as the former president leaves another week to fight. We know that the Constitutional Court will hear his application next week, Monday, that is the 12th. So that will, that will come like a relief for him as well as for his supporters who are here gathered supporting him in this illegal political gathering, because people are crammed here under one space and there are no police officers to enforce the law with regards to what is happening here. So those who have heard about these news, the developments, say they welcome it and they still think and feel that the former president has a chance, though some say it's very minimal that he will be successful. But it's his constitutional right to explore whatever legal avenue he feels is worth exploring. So we will only wait and hear what the Constitutional Court says after it has heard his application. Remember, it's set down for the 12th. So what is happening here outside former President Jacob Zuma's home is that his supporters are busy singing here. A stage has been set up. He was meant to address the nation, quote unquote, according to the Jacob Zuma Foundation, tomorrow. So for now, we don't have any developments as to what will happen to that address, because it was set to coincide with the deadline that was set down for him by the Concord to hand himself over to the nearest police station. So now that he leaves to fight another week, what will happen tomorrow? I can tell you that he has been addressing his Induna and some of Amabuto inside his home here at Nkandla, basically telling them that he's a victim of political conspiracy. It's something that he has said before. He was rehashing his political theories and his political conspiracies, saying, well, some people don't want him, says. But interestingly, though, when he was addressing them, he said we need to respect each other, we need to respect the law. Yet some people were criticizing him, saying he's not respecting the law, and even with this Constitutional Court judgment, some people were saying he remains defiant. But his tone was different this time around. Of course, it's a Jacob Zuma who is overconfident, who is jovial. He thanked Izinduna and Amabuto for their continued support, thanking them for coming here, saying, well, up until now, I don't know what I've done. I hear that I need to go to jail for 15 months, but I don't know what I've done. Well, the Constitutional Court did tell him what he did. He defied a court order of the apex court in the country to go back to the Zondo Commission, but he plays the political victim in this case.
Sipa, as we were zooming in there, we got that picture of what looked like a truck stage, but nothing happening. Yet people are gathered around it as a point of focus. Are they expecting the ex-president to come out and address them at some stage? I mean, it's getting later and later. It's going to start getting darker soon. So what is the expectation there?
Bonga Mkhize will again show you the stage, but I can tell you that the former president is definitely not going to come out and address his supporters today. He did make a brief public appearance for the first time to be seen in public after the Constitutional Court judgment. So people are busy enjoying music there. They are busy enjoying some song and dance. I think on stage there are people purporting to be members of the MKMVA who are leading what is happening there. I see many people wearing white t-shirts when Zenu Zuma there. Those people are from Mpumalanga province, most of them. But of course, the supporters who are here are from all over the country and in some other provinces. So the former president will not address his supporters today. Definitely not going to do that. He made a brief appearance flanked by Amabuto. He was making a political statement in the political show. After just leaving his house for a few minutes, he went back inside his house. He is still in consultation with the ANC provincial leadership up in KwaZulu-Natal, including Chairperson Sihle Zikalala and Provincial Secretary Mdumiseni Ntuli, who need to report back to the National Executive Committee members of the ANC assigned to monitor the situation.
Sipha, if you say that the president's not coming, then the only thing I can expect is that people are gathered to watch Carl Niehaus dance.
Carl Niehaus and probably Ace Magashule will greet them. The suspended Secretary General of the ANC is here. We asked him under what capacity. He said, I'm the leader of the ANC. Carl Niehaus, a staunch supporter of former President Jacob Zuma, who is basically here. Yesterday there was a media briefing where Carl Niehaus and members purporting to be belonging to the MK-MVA, which we know that the National Executive Committee of the ANC has taken a decision that the MK-MVA must be disbanded so that it can be incorporated, amalgamated with the MK Council. Seems as if some people are resistant to that decision. They disregard that decision of the ANC. So it could be that some people like Carl Niehaus, Kosencha Shezi, another staunch supporter of former President Jacob Zuma, who describe themselves as the radical economic transformation forces or champions, may address the crowd here. But no one wants to be arrested. Leaders understand that once they take to that stage and they address the crowd, they should be arrested. Then that brings into sharp contrast and irony the fact that why are police officers not arresting people who are gathered here illegally? Because this is a super spreader event in the midst of a deadly COVID-19 third wave.
Siphamandla Goge is there in Nkandla for us, but so is Aviwe Mtila. Aviwe, let's come to you. You've been talking to various people as well, and of course you mentioned earlier that you'd spoken to police off camera. They're still not present, they're not acting in any way that shows that they understand the gravity of the situation that you are all seeing in Nkandla.
I haven't seen them for the last 3 hours here, just outside the president's homestead, as hundreds have gathered. In fact, the numbers are dwindling now, but you'd be forgiven for thinking that the COVID-19 pandemic is over. In fact, you'd be forgiven for even forgetting that we are on level 4, adjusted level 4, those 14 days. I can see the people outside here hardly wearing any mask, hardly socially distancing as they come out, listening to the stage that is set there, and they're being addressed, which we understand, by some of the MK-MVA members. We heard they're anticipating a speech by the former president, but that won't be happening. But you can see they're still out waiting for some sort of speech, song being sung as we speak this very moment. Very concerning, the police presence that is non-existent at this stage, with 2 kilometers away where there is in fact a police station where we saw them earlier on with my colleague Tebogo Maselo. I just want to address some of these grievances with the leadership of Mpumalanga, which I do understand a lot of the people here are from the Mpumalanga delegation. Why aren't masks being worn, and why are so many people here in the first place?
We are here to support Jacob Zuma because he's our president of the ANC, and he was the president of the country.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, COVID-19 third wave in South Africa. Surely this can't be allowed.
No. Now, because there is a crisis, we don't care about anything. We are here to support Jacob Zuma, whether it's corona, whether it's no corona. In a struggle, you don't look at only what you'll die. You fight up until the end of your road. If you die, other people will take over the struggle.
Is that not a careless statement, given that people are dying essentially on the ground because of the pandemic that we are on? You'll tell us that we are in a struggle, but literally these lives can be saved here.
When members of the ANC go to exile, they know exactly. So some of them will come, some of them will die. It's the same thing today. I can die today, but the struggle will continue.
What have you spoken to the former president's side, and what are you getting from there?
No, the former president, I didn't spoke with him. I'm here to support him. We are waiting the former president to come and address us. He's still at his house. After that, he'll come and address us. And if they said he must go to jail, we won't allow that one. We'll fight for that.
And if police come here and try and stop you from the super spreader event that you causing here, what will be your response?
Pardon?
If the police come and try to stop the super spreader event that you causing as a delegation of Mpumalanga.
In the apartheid system, there was a police. That's why now we are still in power, because we have won the battle. Even now we are going to win the battle.
Thank you very much. Some of the leadership from the Mpumalanga delegation speaking of a struggle amid a COVID-19 pandemic, mentioning that reckless statements essentially that talk to lives, that people coming out here willing to die in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic. You ask yourself where the South African Police Service is, as they're not even visible here. What are the regulations that are in place? What is supposed to happen in instances like this, where this, of course, is a super spreader event? What's the police supposed to do? Who's supposed to act, in fact, and how many people are supposed to be outside in such gatherings?
Aviwe Ntila, our senior reporter at eNCA. Keep safe. It's not great to be there when people are unmasked. And as he's said, it seems like different laws seem to apply in eNCA versus other parts of South Africa.